Hey guys, Mr. Dan here. Welcome to a Tubi Tuesday review. This is going to be a review of a Tubi original film called Requiem for a Scream. I just kind of picked it out at random. And yes, Tubi is making original films. Tubi Tuesday is brought to you by Alucard. If you want to check out his review of the Tubi Tuesday original film Toe, which features Kane Hodder, you can go ahead and do that on his channel. I would say if I had to sum up this film in just a few words, I would say it was a pretty nice try. It did some things right. It mystified me a little bit here and there. Overall, it was pretty good. And then as I was researching the film, a lot of the information about the film disappeared off of IMDb, namely some of the people that were involved in it. I mean, I swear, they were there last night, now they're not there. I don't know, maybe something's going on behind the scenes, but we'll get into that. Anyway, this film is produced by Cartel Films, and they have also produced a lot of films for Lifetime. And the director of this film, Ben Meyerson, has directed quite a few. As you can see, I'll put a list right here. A lot of them are the sort of typical Lifetime films, stalking, kidnapping films. If you click on them, they all have alternate titles. they're like all these interchangeable titles, you know. Say what you will, Lifetime back in the day had some good movies. I think, big picture, it's kind of a quantity over quality, but you know, most Lifetime films are competently made, and this is a pretty competently made film. This does not really look like a super low budget film. It's well made. The acting is decently good. There's some. It's a slasher film, okay, so there's some blood, and you know, it's pretty good. Those effects are pretty good. It's a decently made film. It's a bit of a strange one. Real quick, it opens with a masked killer basically holding a couple people hostage, and he's trying to get them to sing into a microphone. And he's recording it, and he saves it on a little memory card. And you can see that he's in someone's cabin, and there's plastic all around. Well, later he leaves, but the memory card, there's a scene where you see that he drops the memory card, and he's got like a little case where he's collected all these memory cards. So apparently he's done this before. Now after that you get to meet our main character Artemis, who is a singer, an opera singer. She's traveling up to this cabin, like a family cabin, during the off season with a friend, and they're going to be joined by some more friends in a little bit, and they're basically going to kind of have a send-off for her sister who has passed away. So both her and her sister were like opera singers. Her sister was the one that her parents paid more attention to. And, you know, we learned this through a series of phone calls. And we see the parents back at the house sort of lamenting the death of the one daughter. And then she gets a call from her dad. So she has to tell her friend, like, oh, be quiet. They think I'm on an audition or something. Eventually, Dad figures it out, what's going on, and he heads to the cabin. But in the meantime, they're trying to keep this quiet, and Artemis is thinking about getting out of singing altogether. So anyway, the friends show up, the other three friends show up. The one guy has like a satellite dish. He works for some kind of a startup. He puts it on the roof. They're trying to get reception off and on. So you got a killer who's recording people. That's his whole sort of modus operandi. And then you got this guy who's setting up like a satellite dish on the roof. I thought he was going to use that against the killer at some point. I don't know. That was kind of a strange thing that didn't happen. But and then as far as the identity of the killer, I wasn't really too satisfied with that either. Anyway, the friends start partying. One of them pulls out some coke, and they get a little rowdy. They have some arguments, things like that. I didn't really like that whole sequence. There was about 20 minutes of that where some of the characters became unlikable. I didn't really dig that. Then the killer strikes, and it's a pretty heavy scene when he takes out his first victim. I mean, I have to say. And then you know, they don't have cell phone service. He is kind of stalking them on the outside, and basically claims a few more victims, and eventually Dad makes it up there. They're trying to get a hold of the police. The police show up. The police are like, hey, you know, you can't waste their time. Not a whole lot you haven't seen before. Overall, I wasn't thrilled with the outcome. It was a pretty decent slasher, I guess. it was okay. Like I said, it was kind of a nice try. Now, I mentioned that Cartel Films produced this. They've also produced those films for Lifetime, and they were directed by Ben Meyerson. Now, all of a sudden on IMDb today, when you click on cast and crew, he's not there. When you go to his page, you see all these films. You see other films in post-production, but not this film. When you go to Cassie Scarbo's IMDb page, the film's not there. Okay? You've got all these other people named like Harper. I was like, who's Harper again? She was just one of the victims in the very beginning. She barely had a role. But she's not there. So I don't know what happened. Why, like, some of the people involved with this have been wiped away. We'll have to see if they come back. That was kind of strange to me. So all in all, I hope Tubi keeps at it. I hope they get some really good scripts. And so far, the special effects in this were pretty good. I mean, they didn't... The motive of the killer wasn't the kind of guy that, like, takes people apart. You know what I mean? He wasn't like that brutal of a killer. He was mostly trying to get this memory card back. So the special effects and the kills kind of were consistent with that. They were pretty good. So, I mean, it was okay. That's my review of Requiem for a Scream. All right, thanks, guys.